Did you know that right now, as you're listening to me, there's a constant hidden conversation happening inside your body? It's a dialogue that can shape your mood, your cravings, even your big decisions. Today, we're going to tap into that line and decode the incredible communication superhighway between your gut and your brain. So let's start with something I bet every single one of us has felt. It's so common we even have a name for it. You know, that gut feeling? I mean, you know that feeling, right? Before a big interview or maybe a first date, that fluttery, kind of nervous energy that seems to live right in your stomach. But what is that really? Where does that feeling even come from?
Well, here's the reveal. That sensation, it's not just in your head, not at all. It's a perfect real-time example of your brain and your gut having a very intense conversation. And this whole internal communication system, it relies on two incredibly powerful command centers.
Yeah, you heard me right. It's not just one big boss in your skull calling all the shots from the top down. In a very real way, your body actually has two brains. So, we all know the brain in our head, right? The central command for all our thoughts, our feelings, our decisions. But, and this is the wild part, our gut contains its own second brain. It's the super complex web of nerves called the enteric nervous system. And get this, it's so sophisticated, it can manage the entire complicated process of digestion all on its own without a single command from your head. A really great way to picture this is to think of them as two separate bustling cities. You know, each one has its own unique jobs and functions. But for the whole system to work smoothly, they have to be in constant communication. So, how do they talk to each other across that distance?
Well, it turns out they have a dedicated high-speed connection. You can think of it as a kind of inner superhighway.
And this superhighway has a name. It's the vagus nerve. This thing is the main information pipeline. It's a massive bundle of nerves running directly from the brainstem all the way down into the abdomen. And importantly, it's not a one-way street. Information is zipping back and forth in both directions all the time. Just think of it like a fiber optic cable, you know, carrying massive amounts of data back and forth in an instant. That's pretty much what the vagus nerve is for your body. It makes sure those two cities are always perfectly in sync. But it's not just the superhighway. I mean, think about a real city, right? It doesn't have just one freeway in and out. There have to be other routes for messages to travel. And that's exactly what's going on here. You've got these side roads of communication. We're talking about things like hormones and all sorts of other chemical signals that travel through the bloodstream. They're maybe not as fast as the vagus nerve, but believe me, their influence is incredibly powerful. And don't underestimate these side roads. These chemical messages have a massive impact, directly influencing whether you feel anxious or calm, happy or down. It's this complex chemical conversation that's constantly shaping your mental state. So, how does this all actually play out in our everyday lives? Okay, let's pull all this together. We've got two brains. They're connected by a neural superhighway and these chemical side roads. But why is all this internal chatting so critical to our day-to-day experience? Well, it all comes right back to those feelings we started with. Those butterflies, that's literally your brain sending stress signals down the superhighway to your gut. And on the flip side, that wonderful, relaxed, happy feeling you get after a really good meal, that's your gut sending signals of contentment and well-being right back up to your brain. The big thing to get here is that this isn't some occasional check-in. It's not a text message every few hours. Nope. This is a 24/7, non-stop flow of information. Every single moment, your gut and your brain are sharing data, making tiny adjustments, and working together. And this constant dialogue is, and I'm not exaggerating here, absolutely essential. It affects our mood, our decisions, pretty much our entire sense of well-being. A healthy, functioning gut-brain connection is really the foundation for a healthy mind and a healthy body. Which leaves us with one final thought to take with you. The next time you feel those butterflies, or you just get a sudden gut feeling about something, pause for a second. That's not just some random sensation. It's a message. So the real question is, what is your gut telling you?